So, why did I not watch Deadpool? Deadpool has received a lot of positive ratings. It's got 8.4 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database, and it's got a lot of positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes website, which is a popular website for rating movies. And I'll tell you why I haven't watched Deadpool, because that's not the kind of stuff that I like to watch. Um, I don't like watching movies that have a ton of brutality, really violent graphics, um, sex, and a ton of profanity. These are all things that I don't really want to see, to hear, or to look at, because it's not good for my own personal being. I consider that stuff just filth, and as a Christian, not good stuff that I should be looking at and viewing. Um, there's a lot of other, I'd say, more um, action movies that doesn't have the amount of profanity, filth, and crap in it that Deadpool has. But you have to understand that Hollywood knows that people absolutely love all the violence, all the profanity, all of the sexual content and stuff. So that's why all these people have praised the movie and given it great, glorious, positive reviews. Because that's what people really like. That's what they love, You either love God, you love righteousness, or you love sin. And what is all the stuff in Deadpool? It's pretty much just a whole bunch of stuff that is evil, wicked, and sinful. And that's what people love. They love sin instead of, you know, loving God and doing what is right and caring about those things. And that's really what our society and culture has become. It's become a wicked, immoral, and unrighteous place. So that's the primary reason why I don't want to see Deadpool. It's unfortunate that such a movie with such filth and it gets such high praise, but that's just what's to be expected. Like I say, people love sin, and so they're gonna love all this sexual content. They're gonna love all the profanity. They're gonna love all the brutality, all of the violence. That's what they love, and so that's why movies like that get really positive reviews. Now, that's not to say that other movies that don't have all that stuff never get good positive reviews, because there are plenty of movies that get really great reviews that do not have all that stuff in them. And that's because that there's another large audience other than the audience, that are not Christians and that don't care about that stuff. There is another audience like myself that will give other movies really good reviews, because that's the kind of content, that's the kind of stuff that we enjoy, that we like. Um, so yeah, um, you know, I recently the other day saw uh, Batman versus Superman. Now, according to the critics, it's a terrible movie and it's gotten a really bad review. Um, but I actually really enjoyed the movie. I don't know a ton about the comics and all that stuff. I don't really follow a whole lot of that. But I actually enjoyed Superman versus Batman, and I thought it was a pretty well done movie. Um, and I did think that it was a lot better than Man of Steel. So, you know, I enjoyed I enjoyed that movie, and you know, with a movie like that, you don't have all this profanity. You don't have all this really graphic killing and violence. Um, and I like it when they can make movies like that. Have a good story. Don't put all this other garbage and stuff in it, because I don't want to go see a movie that has all that stuff in it. Now I know there's people out there that do, and that's what they love and that's what they like. But at the end of the day, I understand a lot of the times that these other movies get really bad ratings and reviews is because, see, people expect movies to be perfect, If you have that thinking that you're going into the movie and it's supposed to be perfect, you're always going to be let down because there is no movie that is perfect. There's always going to be letdowns. But if you just have the attitude and the thinking that, all right, I'm just going to go watch the movie because it's going to be fun, and you don't spoil the movie experience by watching all the trailers beforehand, because I don't like to really watch the trailers right before they release the movie because they show a lot more. Teaser trailers are alright, but I try to refrain from watching a lot of trailers so that I'm much more excited going into the movie, not knowing what to expect. So that helps a lot. And I also don't really like to read other people's reviews and all that stuff because everybody's got their own likes and dislikes. So I can't, form my own opinion of a movie based on somebody else's opinion. I have to see it for myself. But with things like, Deadpool, where you absolutely know that there's like over 50 uses of the F word and there's tons of sexual references, or nudity, or just tons of brutality and graphic violence, stuff like that. I know without a shadow of a doubt that is not something that is appealing to me, and so I'm not going to go see that. But I think, though, it shows you, like, when you do look at these ratings of these movies and stuff, it shows you what people really love. Everybody wants R-rated superhero movies now because they absolutely love all of that violence. They absolutely love all of that stuff. And I think that's unfortunate because that kind of tells you the mindset of most Americans and moviegoers, that they aren't really probably real, honest followers of Jesus Christ. Because if they truly were, I don't think that they would enjoy all of that stuff, and they wouldn't praise such a movie that glorifies violence and all this stuff, right? So it is sad, it is disturbing, that's what movies and stuff have become today, and even television shows. Back a long time ago when our parents or great-grandparents were growing up, they didn't show half the stuff that they show today in movies or television shows, or use the kinds of words and stuff that they show now. So it's really, it's gotten really bad. And that's another reason why I don't watch things like Game of Thrones, because Game of Thrones is pretty much just like watching porn. I mean, it's pretty much all it is killing, 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 killing. It's immoral. There is really no justice. The bad guys are basically good, and the good guys are bad, and the bad guys get away with things, and, it's just sex scenes after sex scenes. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people really love today, because it's one of the highest rated TV shows now of all time. And that, unfortunately, I think that's really sad, But again, I expect that to be the case because people love sin, and, their master is Satan, and they're blinded by the truth. Or should I say, they're blinded by the lie. So that's my opinion. That's my reasoning why I don't really watch certain things here and there. In my whole movie collection, you'll find very few, if at all, any movies that are absolutely really bad, like that have tons of bad stuff in them. Just because I am selective, I care about good stories, and that's what it comes down, for me, is, does it have a good story? Did they try to keep it, relatively clean without all the profanity and all of that junk and stuff in it? And so that's what I kind of form my opinion over and stuff. And I also think, too, that in a lot of these movies today that are being produced, they're focusing a lot around superheroes and stuff, and they're throwing references of the Bible. Almost in a way, they're like slandering Jesus in the Bible in these superhero movies and stuff. But I understand and expect that because it's part of the conditioning process. See, they're trying to get people to think a certain way, and they're trying to really discredit the truthfulness of the Bible. And so they're just constantly throwing attacks on on a small note. So sometimes it goes unnoticed while you're watching the movie, but if you're conscious of these things, you pick them up. I mean, if you know the truth and you're a Bible believer, you can easily pick up on a lot of this different stuff. And you can decipher things, and you use discernment, and you have wisdom, and so you can pick up on all these little subtleties and things, that Hollywood and people throw in there, and all these different references. So, yeah, it's getting a little crazy out there, and but on a good note, there are a lot of really great movies that are coming out that aren't like Deadpool. You have like the Jungle Book. You have the next Star Wars movie. Um, so yeah, those are great movies. I think that a majority of people can watch. And something else that I heard is in the news recently. They said that like parents aren't being parents and they're allowing their little kids to go into R-rated movies. So now the movie theaters are going to be banning apparently little kids from watching R-rated movies, and I actually think that's a good thing. But I think it's sad that parents aren't being responsible and keeping their children from watching terrible content. Now, on that same note, I think that if you wouldn't allow your children to watch certain things, you know, maybe it's a good idea that you shouldn't watch it either, because just because you're older doesn't mean that something that is inherently evil or bad or not appropriate would then become appropriate because you got older. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that's, in a way, it's like really hypocrisy. It's hypocritical. You tell someone, hey, you can't watch this because you're young, but you yourself are watching it because you're older. But I understand that when you're older, you can, like, it will not have that kind of effect, at least not initially, because you can decipher between good and bad and stuff. And your beliefs and a lot of these things have been formed. So, you're more cautious, I guess, when you're watching things as an older person. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on all this. So I thought that if you guys have not seen Batman vs. Superman, at least go watch it, enjoy it for what it is. It might not be a perfect movie, but what movie is, right? Um, just be positive, just enjoy it, and so with that, take care, guys.